Thank God my boyfriend was on the run, because if he wasn't, I probably would have never ended up here to make sure he was good and to make sure he was comfortable and to make sure that he didn't have to go through anything by himself. And looking back at it, would I have made any other decision but to leave with him? I don't think so. I probably would have left with him. every chance I get to make that decision over again, I probably still would have left with him, because, well, I just lost my job. It's not really funny. It's actually really fucking sucks, but I've lost so many jobs in 2024 that losing and walking away from this job, it doesn't hit me as unfortunate as it always is. It's just continuing to push me in different directions. So I'm starting a YouTube, because what else do I have to fucking lose at this point but share myself with the world and be ready to be seen, because I'm running out of fucking options, to be honest. And sharing my story about how I got here in the first place makes the most sense. I've been in Atlanta for 5 years, and the only reason I started discovering myself and really understanding who I wanted to be and standing on and growing into and setting out in the world with my own dreams and goals was because I ended up in Atlanta and I saw myself for the first time. And thank God my boyfriend was on the run, because if he wasn't, I probably would have never ended up here to make sure he was good and to make sure he was comfortable and to make sure that he didn't have to go through anything by himself. And looking back at it, would I have made any other decision but to leave with him? I don't think so. I probably would have left with him. every chance I get to make that decision over again, I probably still would have left with him, because coming to Atlanta was different, but it changed me for the better. And I couldn't ask for any other experience than to keep rediscovering myself and figure out exactly who I want to be in this world and what that means to me. And I've always been a writer, but I don't think I would have discovered or really had the confidence to pursue acting and modeling if I didn't move to Atlanta. So this is my story of how I ended up living in Atlanta long term. And it wasn't really because I was chasing my own dreams. It was because I believed in someone else's. And I don't know if that's a good thing to do in life, but I fucking did it. And here we are. So I guess I'm going to start from the beginning of how I met. We're going to call my ex-boyfriend, because no, we're not together anymore. We're going to call my ex-boyfriend Chef. And then we're going to go from how we met to how we ended up living together to how we ended up, to how he ended up leaving Arizona, and I went with him. So I met Chef around, I would say, I met Chef around late 2016 going into 2017. And when we met, we had instant chemistry. I tried to deny it for some time because I wanted him to be the homie for real. Like, I wanted him to be like, you know, that plug that you just have where you could, like, he's your connect for everything. Like, you want to go out to the club and you need, you know, something to be taken care of, treated right, and nobody try you. You get the great experience with everything. You want to treat your friends to a cool place to go chill and smoke. you go to this man's house because he has a beautiful view and beautiful furniture, and he's always cooking, and he's very hospitable. So he was like my immediate plug. Like, I really wanted him to be that person, but he was like, no, I want you. And I'm like, me? Why do you want me? No, but we had instant chemistry. Our conversation, our music, our debates on our perspective on life. We always had stuff to talk about. And I don't know if that's because I'm a Leo moon and he's a Leo, but we instantly clicked. So I would always try to play hard to get, and he would always be like, when you coming home? When are you coming home? Yeah, whatever, baby, when you coming home? And I would always try to go home. But his house, well, his apartment was fucking beautiful. He had a corner unit apartment on the 19th floor of the West 6 in Tempe, Arizona. If you know, you know. Beautiful, beautiful view. You could see the sunrise and watch the sunset. He had all white furniture. Breathtaking apartment, just a really good time. So me being 24 years old, or how old was I? 25 years old at the time, I'm sitting there like, of course I want to live here. This is a dream come true. I'm staying in the hood in North Phoenix, paying for a one-bedroom apartment for $695 a month. It was a time. But I was working retail. I was working on my clothing line. I had so many goals and aspirations for myself. I loved writing. I wanted to get into writing books and being a writer, which now I have 4 books. So that dream did come true, thankfully. But yeah, there were so many things that I wanted out of myself, out of life, that I thought that this was like God bringing us together, and this was how I settle down. This is how I start my family. So as you probably know, I came the fuck home. He said, baby, when you coming home? And I just started staying at his house all the time. And his apartment was literally right next to my job. I worked in Scottsdale. All my friends lived in Scottsdale. Everything that was immediate for me was right there in the Tempe, Scottsdale area. And he lived like in the Tempe area to where it was really like 5 minutes away from Scottsdale. If you know the area, then you know that Scottsdale Road can go from Scottsdale and turn into Tempe. So say all that to say, within like the first few months of us dating, I was at his house all the time. I didn't give a damn. I was there. I didn't care. He didn't care. My friends came over to visit me at his house, and we were just laid up having the best time ever. And one day, I go to work, and the apartment gets raided. So the apartment gets raided, and my phone is blowing up. At the time, I'm a visual merchandiser at H&M. So I'm working in the window, putting like, I think a vinyl on the window or something. And my phone's going the fuck off. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I see it's like Chef's friends. So I'm like, call me later, nigga. I don't give a damn. But finally, I pick up the phone because I'm like, they won't stop calling. What's going on? Started wondering, like, okay, this is like the 3rd time they've called. What the fuck do they want? So I answer the phone, and they're like, Chef's in jail. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean he's in jail? They're like, yeah, they came, they raided the apartment. We asked what they were here for, and they pointed at the FedEx box that was on the ground. So I immediately start freaking out. I'm like, I just got with the love of my life. We were living this beautiful, nice life. He never told me that he was doing whatever the fuck they said that he was doing. And when can we get him out, and how much does he need to get out?